Today we are going to be discussing the top 3 reasons people like you choose to study in Canada. We're going to talk about why everyone has been shouting Canada, 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 Canada. The first one is that Canada has comparable education system when you compare them, say, to the United Kingdom, to United States, to Australia, right? And every other high-income country. Canada education system is like in terms of educational facilities, in terms of the educational curriculum, it being up to date, at least compared to so many other countries. The work there is comparable educational system. It makes sense to say that if Canada has comparable educational system like the UK, US, Australia, and the rest of the high-income countries, how come people are selecting Canada, right? So here we begin to talk about what makes Canada special. And this is from what I've noticed from people, all right? So I'm not saying what made me choose Canada, which is a different question. I'm talking about why most people choose Canada. The second reason is the post-graduation work permit, favorable post-graduation work permits. For example, Canada gives post-graduation work permit that allows you to work with any employer, meaning that an employer can hire you the same way they can hire a citizen, the same way they can hire a permanent residence holder and all the rest. An employer can hire you. If you compare this to the UK, yes, an employer can hire you, but employers are not really expected to hire you for the very high-paying jobs. This means that most times after school, you end up doing jobs that are not really the best kind of jobs, right? And the serious jobs, which they call the sponsored jobs, it is only a few non-citizens that will get it. But in Canada, it's not like that. Canada does not reserve some jobs, like the high-paying jobs, for their citizens and not give it to others. Canada does not do that. So that is why what I call favorable post-graduation work permit. Still compared to the US, in US, you have to get a company that will sponsor you. In Canada, you get jobs, and nobody's talking about sponsorship in terms of the post-graduation work permit. Like, the high-paying jobs are not reserved for citizens only. At least officially, right? Because something can happen, quite all right. But if it is official, then it means it's going to happen way, way more. So in places like UK, it's official that the high-paying jobs are left for citizens. An employer have to prove that there was no citizen to take the job before they can give it to you. So that's a huge advantage, which means that if you're an immigrant in the country, you don't get penalized. Provided you've studied here, you don't get penalized just because you're not a citizen yet. Okay? Now, let's go to the third reason. The third reason is that Canada has a route that is set out and specifically designed for international students that have finished their study. They call it the Canadian Experience Route. No picture is that if you are a student, if you come to Canada as an international student and you study and you decide to stay back permanently, Canada does not have a problem with that. They have a direct route through which from your study visa, you get post-graduation work permit. From post-graduation work permit, you apply for permanent residency and you get your permanent residency, except you're like an armed robber or a drug dealer, which me and you, we are not, right? So the people who don't get it are people who have like some serious crime and stuff like that. So you get it if you're a normal person like me and you. And then from the permanent residency, you get your citizenship. The point is this, that there is a direct route designed by the government. It's as if like the government is saying stay back. They're using one eye, they're cutting eye for you. Stay back. That's what the government is doing. Unlike many other countries where it's as if the government know they don't want you to stay back. They just want you to come and study and go back. This is why, even though somebody may not want to stay back as of the time they are coming to study, that's not the reason why they will decide that they want to study. But sometimes people change their mind along the way. So for a lot of people, it is more about keeping that option open. You know, like if somebody say you can come and study and you can stay back, even if you don't want to stay back, you just want that option open in case you ever decide to use it. A lot of people also study and they go back to their country because maybe they have a job there. It was even their company who sent them to come and study and so many other things, right? But I've told you the top 3 reasons why people choose Canada. It has comparable educational system compared to other high-income countries. The post-graduation work permit is favorable to you. It doesn't limit you to only do menial jobs. Employers can hire you for high-paying jobs. The third one is that the government themselves have mapped out a direct pathway, the Canadian Experience class. So the government themselves designed that you can stay back. With these three reasons, people are seeing that when they are willing to spend thousands of dollars, that why you spend it in a country that just want your money and throw you back? And even if you don't want to stay back, you want to spend it in the country that will be like, we love you. If you want to stay, it's fine. Right? It just makes sense. So Canada is just like that beautiful bride that is not rude, is nice, cool and calm, ready to welcome you if you so wish. And if you decide to go back to your country, the government does not go out of their way to prevent you from going back to your country. So it's not as if they force you to stay back. I would tell you that if you are here, you want to study in Canada, and you want to study on full scholarship, you're looking for how to get scholarship or study loan or grant, how to get funding to fund your school fees, please go to www.vantagemigration.ca to attend our free webinar. All right, where we explain everything, we tear everything apart for you. So that is for people who are looking for funding. Make sure you stay to the end of the webinar. Make sure you get the eligibility link and check your eligibility. Then you can email us with the email address we will show to you. If you have any more questions, go and attend the free webinar. You will learn a lot.